The human mind is an incredibly powerful tool. When we understand how it works, we can direct it to create the reality we want. However, our minds often become a battlefield where limiting thoughts and beliefs try to define our reality. What you think about yourself and the world around you profoundly influences your life experience. But there is good news: you have the power to shape these thoughts. If your mind is filled with limitations and fears, the world around you will seem a restricted place. However, by renewing your thoughts with faith and positivity, new possibilities begin to emerge. This does not mean ignoring the challenges of life, but changing the way we look at them. With a renewed mind, you will see each obstacle as an opportunity to grow and evolve. Transformation begins with the simple decision to change the way you think about yourself and the situations you face. Often, what prevents us from moving toward our goals is the limiting beliefs we carry throughout life. These beliefs are formed by words we hear, past experiences, or negative comparisons with others. They settle so deeply in our mind that we often do not even realize how much they shape our attitudes and decisions. It can be a phrase said in childhood, a mistake made in the past, or even a criticism that echoes in our mind, repeating until we believe in it as if it were an absolute truth. However, it is important to understand that these beliefs do not define who we are, nor what we are able to achieve. They are just thoughts that, if not challenged, can control our actions and prevent our growth. The first step towards true transformation is to recognize these limiting beliefs. Just by identifying what is really blocking your progress, can you start replacing these negative thoughts with thoughts that align your mind with the truth about who you really are: someone with great potential and able to achieve anything with faith and determination. Challenging our thoughts is one of the most important steps for personal growth. By allowing negative and destructive thoughts to take care of our mind, we are sabotaging our own progress. Most of these limiting thoughts are not based on absolute truths, but rather to distortions of reality, shaped by past experiences or external influences. The true key to change is in replacing these self-sabotaging thoughts with new thoughts that are more aligned with the truth that God teaches us. He tells us that we are precious, capable, and worthy of great deeds. When we decide to see the world with the eyes of faith, we not only surpass the challenges, but we become stronger and more resilient. Transformation begins the moment you choose to challenge your thoughts and renew your mind, seeking what is good, true, and edifying. Believe me, when you begin to see life with a new perspective, with faith in the power of change, you not only surpass the barriers, but also get a new inner strength. The renewal of the mind requires constant action, but each step taken toward new thought is a victory toward its purpose. Faith is the fuel that moves our mind towards transformation. When we believe something is possible, our mind begins to seek solutions instead of focusing only on problems. Faith gives us the courage to act, even when circumstances seem challenging. Instead of waiting for everything to align perfectly, we take a step of trust, believing that God is with us at every moment. Faith transforms our perspective. When we trust God, our mind is freed from fear and doubt, and we begin to see life through a lens of possibilities. Instead of seeing difficulties as insurmountable obstacles, we begin to see opportunities for growth and learning. When we believe the impossible is possible, our mind adjusts to seek creative and bold solutions. Faith is the first step towards transformation, for it moves us from inaction to action, even when the way ahead is unclear. One of the most common traps the human mind faces is the comparison with others. When we compare to the lives of others, we often feel inappropriate or unable to achieve the same success. However, the truth is that each person has a unique path with distinct experiences and times. Comparing yourself to others is a mental block that prevents us from recognizing our own strengths and the talents God has given us. God has a unique plan for each of us, and this plan cannot be compared to anyone else. When we stop looking at others' lives and begin to focus on what God has placed in our hearts, our vision becomes clearer. We are able to identify our skills and understand that the success of others does not diminish our own potential. True freedom comes when we accept our unique journey and focus on following the direction God has for us. Words have immense power over our mind. The negative words, especially the criticism and rejections we hear throughout life, can have a profound impact on our mindset. We often carry these words within us for so long that they end up shaping our identity. However, it is important to remember that negative words do not define who we are, nor what we are able to achieve. The true renewal of the mind begins when we choose no longer allow negative words from the past to define our value. When we accept the truth of God that we are loved, strong, and capable of great achievements, our mind begins to renew itself. The words we choose to listen and speak shape our reality. By replacing words of criticism with words of faith and affirmation, aligned with divine truth, our mind transforms and our lives reflects this internal change. The human mind is constantly influenced by thoughts, words, and experiences, and the renewal of the mind is a continuous process. As we seek the truth of God, our perspective begins to change. It offers us a new way of seeing the world, a view that is not limited by the distortions of our mind or external influences. When we absorb the scriptures and align ourselves with the divine word, our mind goes through a deep transformation. We come to see ourselves and the world in a more authentic way, without the limitations imposed by the lies we often believe. By renewing our minds with the truth of God, we are freed from distortions, and we can live according to the purpose He has for us. True mental freedom comes when we allow divine truth to become the basis of our thoughts and actions. Life is full of obstacles, but the way we face them makes all the difference. For many people, obstacles are seen as insurmountable barriers, but for others, they become opportunities for growth and learning. When we renew our mind, we can see the challenges from a new perspective and opportunity to approach our purpose. Instead of facing obstacles with fear or resistance, we can choose to see them as an essential part of our journey. Each challenge brings a lesson, an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. When we look at obstacles with faith, we see that they are not barriers, but steps to our development. The way we choose to realize the difficulties will determine whether they will be a block or a trampoline for our success. The renewal of the mind does not happen at once. It is a continuous process that requires discipline and perseverance. It is not enough to think positively once and wait for everything to change. For the transformation to be real, we need to renew our thoughts every day, fighting the self-sabotage that often tries to infiltrate. Each negative thought we can replace with a thought of faith is a victory. This process requires patience and practice, but the results are transformative. The key is in consistency. The daily practice of renewing our mind, fighting destructive thoughts, and maintaining focus on what is good and true is what leads us to true mental freedom. When we adopt this discipline, we are able to face any obstacle with confidence and achieve our goals with determination. Fears and doubts are common, but we should not allow them to paralyze us. Often what prevents us from acting is the fear of failing or doubt about our ability to achieve success. However, acting in faith means taking the first step, even without knowing all the details of the way ahead. Faith does not eliminate challenges, but gives us the confidence that we can overcome them. Each step in faith strengthens our trust and brings us closer to our goals. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to move on despite it. When we act with faith, even if fear is still present, we find the power to continue. True faith is not about not being afraid, but about continuing to walk with confidence, knowing that God is with us in every step of the journey. Now that you have reflected on each of these powerful principles, the question is, will you allow the old thinking patterns to dominate your life? Or will you decide to embrace the transformation that begins with the renewal of the mind? Change begins in your mind. By adopting a mindset aligned with the truth of God, you have the power to break limitations and overcome any challenge. The battle is not what happens around you, but the way you choose to react to it. Each negative thinking you replace with renewed thinking is a victory. What are you waiting for to take the first step? Start now. Renew your mind, combat self-sabotage, and above all, live in faith. And if you are ready to continue your transformation journey,